I love RPGs, specifically turn-based ones, and I find myself looking for new RPGs that are coming out soon on the internet all the time. And so for this video, I've got 5 RPGs coming out in the next month that I am personally excited to play and talk about. So these games will range from indie games to mainstream releases, but each of them is pretty exciting and hopefully you're excited about it too. So let's get to it. Grandia is one of my favorite games from my childhood. It came out around the same time as Final Fantasy VII, so I didn't play it as often as I would have liked, but I always enjoyed going back to it in future years. I also played the second one on PC, and now both of them are available to you on the Xbox and PlayStation. These games are already out as a collection on Switch and individually on Steam, so you could get them today if you want, and boy, should you! These games are absolute classics and have incredible soundtracks, great battle systems, engaging stories, and worlds to explore. The reviews have all been positive, and more importantly, my brother Jack says it's a good remaster, and that guy is a stickler. If you're not familiar with Grandia, it has a fun play on turn-based combat where you can see a meter with all the characters and enemies waiting for their turns to charge their actions. And when a turn comes up, the game pauses and you can select your action, but there are opportunities to bump people on the meter and interact with how long it takes for your enemy to take a turn, as well as ways to move around the map where everybody is fighting. Grandia HD Collection comes out on March 26th for Xbox and PlayStation, but it is already out for Switch and PC. Terra Memoria is an RPG that wants to capture that look and feel of some classic PlayStation era games. This game features turn-based battles, crafting, town building, and puzzles galore. I hadn't realized this, but a demo is currently out on Steam right now, so I'll be trying it out next week when I return from a short road trip that I'm leaving on tomorrow. It gives me a Breath of Fire vibe, which I'm pumped about, and I have to say, I don't always love anthropomorphism in these games where there are humanoid animal characters. I mean, sometimes I love it, like in the Suikoden series, but I'm willing to put my bias aside because so many features of this game look neat. I'm having trouble finding out information about this game aside from the trailers, so I guess I need to get into that demo ASAP and report back to you all. Terra Memoria releases on March 27th on PC, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and the PlayStation 5. Beloved Rapture is an indie RPG with a very small team working on it. There is a demo out on Steam right now, which I reviewed, and in that video I said I wasn't sure if I was in yet or not on the game. I have to say that I'm really intrigued by the story specifically, so I think this is a game that I will play, and when I do, I'll make a full review to show how the game has been updated since the demo. Some of the highlights for me in Beloved Rapture included a solid soundtrack and good exploration aspects. I did have some issues with some sticky D-pad movement, but I'm hoping that's been fixed when the full game comes out. Like I said, the story is very interesting. You play as multiple characters and the story jumps around a little bit, but it was a very compelling plot that will take a young, unsuspecting hero and thrust him into a big adventure. As for combat, it's your typical turn-based fare, but with some little mechanics to separate it from SNES-era combat. Defending restores HP, making it a more functional command, and you have MP to cast magic, but also a point system where you build up points to unleash special attacks. Combat is also where I saw some aesthetic issues with the game, and I detailed those in my review, but I hope that some of those get fixed, such as the combat scene not fitting where you were on a dungeon map. There was also an issue in combat where the game does not allow for command selections while attack animations are in process, and the resulting freeze felt awkward. Beloved Rapture releases on March 31st on Steam, so get ready. Eiyuden Chronicle is already out for those who backed it on Kickstarter, and boy do I wish that I did. This game looks awesome. I was watching David Vink's review and was pleased to see the game brought back a ton of features from the Suikoden series, of which it's spiritually succeeding. This includes features like 6-person parties, runes, formations, auto battle, many characters to recruit, castle building, and more. This game has a grand story with political intrigue and a classic world map for all you retro gamers. There's also interesting mechanics in boss fights where your positioning matters. Overall, this is one of the most anticipated games of the entire year for me personally, so I cannot wait to get my hands on it. This game comes out on April 23rd and will release for the PC, Xbox, the Series XS, the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 5. SaGa Emerald Beyond is a long-awaited game for fans of the SaGa series. This series can be polarizing, some people love it, and others can't get into it. I've enjoyed the SaGa games that I've played personally, and I'm excited to try this one too. I do have some concerns about the cheesy writing and voice acting in the English version trailers, and some of the character designs are a little bit over the top, but it looks like we have at its core a classic RPG with SaGa features on our hands. The human characters in SaGa Emerald Beyond can equip multiple weapons and during combat can learn techniques on the fly to expand their arsenals. However, there are different races of characters that can equip different gear and learn techs in different ways, so be prepared to plan ahead to get the most out of your party. This game also has a turn gauge with the ability to manipulate when people take their actions. There are 6 different protagonists in this game with their own stories to discover, and the game boasts 17 different worlds to explore and states that each protagonist will have many choices to make. Varied paths and multiple endings make for good replayability, so let's hope it holds up. I hope we get a demo for this game because I'd really like to try it, but otherwise I think it's going to be on my wish list, waiting for my backlog to clear. So that's it for these previews, and I want to know, which game are you personally excited for, and is there a game that I didn't mention that maybe should be on my radar? Let me know in the comments down below, and otherwise I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you all again soon in another one.